Well, let's go back to the volcano now, because one of the things that makes this, the effects of this act of God different in this country to the impact in many places in Europe is, of course, the fact that we live on an island. It's decades since the infamous newspaper headline, "Fog in Channel, Continent Cut Off." We've got used to getting onto a jet-powered tube and alighting somewhere else without any awareness of what lies between. In fact, for many of our fellow citizens, it doesn't matter very much where in the globe the final destination is, just as long as it's a bit warmer and you can get beer and chips. We sent Tim Hewell to Dover.
Suddenly, with planes banned from the sky, Dover's briefly regained from Heathrow its historic status as the main gateway into and out of Britain. The crossing to Dunkirk has seen a 30% increase in traffic, and some of those unable to fly are returning home in surprising ways. Just explain why you need a bike to get on the ferry.
Because I think that's not a foot passenger ferry. Normally you drive a bike and you have no suitcase. So I have to go by foot, and you have to put this bike on, and but the only solution.
You can't actually ride with that?
No, not really. It's too heavy.
His humble bike gained him a place on this Norfolkline ferry, which normally demands that passengers have a vehicle of some sort. But this sailing isn't just taking stranded foreigners home, it's setting out to save Britons trapped abroad. In any adversity, the British like to summon up memories of the indomitability and resourcefulness that we showed during the Second World War, the spirit of Dunkirk. We're off now to Dunkirk on a ferry that's going to do its bit to rescue Britons who've been stranded on the wrong side of the channel. A bit like another set of plucky Britons was stranded in Dunkirk in 1940, 70 years ago. Exceptionally, in the last few days, the operators of this ship have changed their policy to enable Britons without cars or even bicycles to get home.
Well, traditionally Norfolkline don't carry foot passengers. We're a car operation and we focus on car traffic and freight traffic. So people need to travel with a vehicle, and that's been a problem for us to help out in this situation. So what we've actually done is we've contracted coaches ourselves and run them between Dover and Dunkirk station in conjunction with the Dunkirk Tourist Board. And they've put the message out to people, if they can make their way to Dunkirk's railway station, then we'll bring them back.
So it's all part of the Dunkirk spirit?
Absolutely, everybody's mucked in together.
2 hours later, we're at Dunkirk, just along the coast from where, in 1940, Britain's forces waited patiently to be plucked to safety by a flotilla of small boats out of the clutches of Hitler's advancing army. Today, coaches chartered by Norfolkline will pluck exhausted travellers from the chaos of Dunkirk railway station. But first aboard is a stranded traveller who thought he'd never be allowed on without a new £200 pair of wheels he's just purchased in Paris.
I've been skiing in Andorra. From Andorra, got a car hire, had to take that back to Girona. Girona, got a taxi to Perpignan. Perpignan, managed to blag me around to a train to Paris. Across Paris, stayed overnight. Bought the bike over there in Decathlon this morning. Train to Dunkirk, then I cycled from Dunkirk to here, and it's a lot further than it looks on the map.
Those rescued by coach have been forced to show even more ingenuity in their gruelling bid to get home.
My partner's daughter's in Madrid. She queued for 3 hours in Chamartin station to get tickets to Paris. We had quite a nice trip from Madrid to the Spanish border, and then we got a train to Paris, which wasn't so nice. That was yesterday. It was a 6-hour journey.
I went to Budapest last Thursday, spent 2 nights, and I was coming home on Saturday with a friend. Flights obviously cancelled because of the volcano. Rang my husband, who said, I'll come and get you. And 20 hours drive down and 20 hours drive to the ferry.
I had 4 hours sleep
in between.
And straight back, so I'm absolutely cream cracking.
When Britain finally came into view, it wasn't a moment too soon for most. There are many people on this ship who never expected to be so relieved to see the white cliffs of Dover. but there are tens of thousands of other Britons stranded much too far away to reach the Channel ports. Ferries like this can only play a very small part in solving the problem caused by the flight ban. Getting all those trapped abroad back to these shores may take weeks, even with the promise of help from the Navy.